Hey, friends, today, let's talk about a classic movie. On the sapphire blue surface of the lake, an old man is peacefully sitting in a boat, fishing, just as he joyfully reels in a catch. The calm lake suddenly begins to shake violently without warning. Then, a massive whirlpool appears in front of the boat, and the old man immediately realizes that something is wrong. However, it's too late. No matter how desperately he calls for help, he is inevitably pulled into the water. At the moment he falls into the lake, countless fish rush towards him like hungry wolves, and before long, his body is completely devoured. This lake is located in a small town and is the main source of the local economy. The scenery here is as beautiful as a painting, attracting a large number of tourists every year, especially during holidays when various parties by the lake are continuous, with beautiful women and champagne flowing, allowing everyone to indulge in joyful times. Jack is a college student living locally. After the holidays begin, he longs to join the lively parties by the lake, but unfortunately, his mother asks him to stay home and take care of his younger siblings. To get rid of these two little troubles, he generously gives them $60, telling them to fish by the lake and come home quickly, while he sneaks off to the party. At this time, a director comes to the area to shoot a film and asks Jack to help as a tour guide. Naturally, Jack happily agrees to get close to the stunning women. Just then, his classmate Kelly happens to walk by and greets Jack with a smile. Kelly is the goddess in Jack's heart, but he has always been too insecure to confess his feelings to her. The director, seeing how beautiful Kelly is, enthusiastically invites her onto the boat. Jack worries that the director has ulterior motives and tries to stop Kelly, but unfortunately, he fails. Then, under Jack's guidance, the boat arrives at a quiet corner of the lake. The beautiful girls on the boat excitedly jump into the water to play, fully enjoying this wonderful time. Meanwhile, Jack's mother, Amy, is a police officer. After an earthquake occurred in the lake yesterday, she and her colleagues went to the lakeside to investigate and were shocked to find the skeleton of an old man. This startled them, so Amy decided to take divers to check the bottom of the lake the next day to see if there were any other victims. When the two divers descended to the lake bottom, they saw a long crack from the earthquake. As they delved deeper, the temperature dropped by 30 degrees, and in one corner of the crack, there was an opening leading to a larger space. One of the divers, curious, went in to investigate and saw some objects that looked like fish eggs clinging to long aquatic plants. Unable to resist, he reached out to touch them, and suddenly the eggs burst open, releasing a fish with sharp teeth that bit his finger. Blood flowed out immediately, quickly attracting other fish. In an instant, thousands of fish appeared behind him, surrounding him like a raging tide, and his terrified cries echoed. The other diver hurried to rescue him upon hearing the noise, but when he saw the horrific scene, he realized it was too late. The fish had noticed his presence and immediately turned to attack him. Fortunately, at that moment, a strong guy on the boat sensed something was wrong and dove into the water to rescue them. However, the only thing he managed to bring back was a body and a fish hanging from it. They then took the fish to a fish scientist in town. After careful examination, the scientist identified it as a piranha, specifically one that should have gone extinct a million years ago. It turned out they had been living in an underground lake at the bottom of the lake, and the earthquake had caused the bottom to crack, allowing them to escape. Lacking food, these fish gradually mutated and began to eat each other, making them far more terrifying than ordinary piranhas. Amy and the strong guy realized the seriousness of the situation and thought of the many people partying by the lake. They immediately set out to stop them, fearing they would be attacked by the piranhas. However, everyone ignored their warnings and had no idea that danger was imminent. It wasn't until the first woman sitting in a float was bitten to death by a piranha that everyone realized how terrifying the danger was, but by then, it was too late. Tens of thousands of piranhas surged into the lake, launching frenzied attacks on everyone in the water, as if hosting a bloody feast. Cries and screams erupted as everyone desperately swam towards the nearest boats and the shore, but they couldn't swim fast enough to escape the fish. Despite Amy, the strong guy, and others doing their best to rescue people, they still couldn't prevent the tragedy of deaths. Even a black police officer detached the propeller from a speedboat and frantically hacked at the water. Although he killed many piranhas, there were simply too many, and in the end, he too met his fate. Finally, the survivors managed to reach a safe place with great difficulty. The beach, once filled with laughter and joy, was now a scene of devastation, with numerous corpses floating in the water, and those lying on the shore were mostly injured, moaning in pain. At that moment, Amy received a call from Jack, saying they were trapped in the lake surrounded by piranhas. Although Amy was puzzled about why Jack wasn't at home, this was clearly not the time to question him. She immediately found a boat and set off with the strong guy to rescue him. Just a few hours earlier, Jack had been enjoying himself on the lake with the director and a group of beautiful women. He then unexpectedly discovered that his younger siblings were on a nearby deserted island. It turned out they had ignored Jack's advice to go home and had secretly rowed out to the lake, accidentally losing their boat and becoming stranded on the island. The director, eager to return to the party, was very unhappy about the delay in rescuing Jack's siblings, and fueled by alcohol, he loudly scolded Jack. He then recklessly tried to speed away, but the boat's propeller got tangled in aquatic plants and couldn't break free. After the director floored the gas pedal once more, the boat crashed into a nearby rock, shattering the glass bottom viewing area and letting in a rush of lake water mixed with piranhas. In the chaos, the director and a background actress fell into the water. The actress was quickly devoured by the piranhas, while the director, terrified and sobered up, desperately tried to climb back onto the boat. With everyone's help, he finally escaped the fish's jaws, but he was left with severe injuries and barely clinging to life. As the lake water flooded the boat, it began to tilt, trapping Kelly in the cabin surrounded by piranhas, with no way to escape. Just as everyone was about to be swallowed by the fish, Amy arrived on a speedboat. However, due to the surrounding rocks, the speedboat couldn't get close. In desperation, they tied a rope between the two boats, and Amy planned to climb over. She instructed everyone to quickly climb onto the speedboat, promising to return for Kelly after getting them to safety. Jack firmly refused, wanting to stay with Kelly. Seeing his determination, Amy reluctantly agreed to let the others go first, while she and Jack would find a way to rescue Kelly together. As everyone climbed onto the speedboat, another background actress was repeatedly bitten by piranhas leaping from the water, unable to endure it. She let go of one hand to fend them off and accidentally fell into the water, losing her life in an instant. Encouraged by Amy, Jack's siblings mustered their courage and quickly climbed onto the speedboat, but due to the weight, the rope snapped, leaving Amy unable to return, and Jack could not get across. At that moment, Jack was only thinking about how to save Kelly. He had a sudden idea. Since the lake was full of piranhas that liked to eat meat, he would let them feast. The director had just taken his last breath. So, he threw the director's body into the lake, and while the fish were distracted, he quickly jumped into the water and swam through the crack in the boat to reach Kelly. Seeing Jack come to rescue her, Kelly was overjoyed and deeply moved, hugging him tightly. But now was not the time for sentimentality. They needed to figure out how to escape. Jack opened the gas canister at the bottom of the boat and communicated with Amy over the intercom, telling her to count down from 10 and then start the boat. He would hold onto the rope with Kelly as the boat moved, and the returning piranhas would be killed by the gas explosion he ignited. Although this plan was extremely dangerous, there was no better option at the moment. Before the countdown, Jack repeatedly reminded Kelly to hold onto him tightly no matter what. Kelly nodded firmly, and then they shared a passionate kiss to give each other the courage they needed before signaling to Amy. Together, they jumped into the water and ignited the gas canister, throwing it into the cabin. As the piranhas swam toward them and the boat was about to explode, the speedboat wouldn't start, leaving the strong guy and Amy frantic. Just as it seemed all hope was lost, the strong guy finally managed to start the speedboat, quickly rescuing Jack and Kelly from the dangerous waters. At the same time, a loud explosion occurred, and the water erupted in a sea of red as the piranhas were blown into the air. Just as everyone was celebrating their successful escape, Amy received a call from the scientist. It turned out that the piranhas they encountered did not have reproductive organs, meaning they were merely piranha fry, and their mother had not yet appeared, indicating that the danger was far from over. Although this film belongs to the horror genre, it doesn't have many horror elements, and the bloody scenes are relatively mild compared to similar Western films. However, the attractive women in the film are certainly eye-catching, and the overall pacing is brisk with no dragging moments. Overall, the story is complete and has many highlights, making it a good film worth watching.